Hey, I'm going to make this one quick because I'm quite tired, but I think it has to be said. So, the actress Brie Larson, yes, I've already committed a great sin by saying actress and not actor, but the actress Brie Larson, who's an Oscar winner, she's an up and coming name in Hollywood, has attracted controversy by saying that basically she refuses from now on to be interviewed by white men. Now, her logic for this is that there's a lack of diversity among reporters. I can understand arguments for wanting more diversity, um, and I'm somewhat sympathetic to that. I mean, if she's saying, "Look, I want to give disabled reporters or ethnic minority reporters more opportunities," that's fine. But basically she's showing casual bigotry towards a sizable demographic, and she's holding prejudice toward white male reporters for something that is beyond their control. I mean, she's basically showing hostility to white men for being white men. This is sexist. It's quasi racist. I won't say it's outright racist because she's a white woman, but it's definitely race baiting, and it's I think pretty despicable. But it's just typical of these Hollywood elitists who don't really live in the real world. And I don't follow comic book films. I'm not a massive fan of them, but I know enough to know that saying that's going to polarize a pretty large part of the fan base of Marvel Comics. Apparently, she's making a tour of Captain America. I don't know all the details. Apparently, she's I don't know if she's starring in the latest film or something. She's got some close connection with it. I don't know all the details, but I've just checked out her fan page on Facebook, and quite a few people have taken issue with those comments. Let me just put it this way: just imagine for a second, a male actor had said, "I refuse to be interviewed by black women." Just imagine that for a second. He would be absolutely crucified. And I don't think I don't think he should say that. I don't think such a scenario would be okay. But I'm just making the point that there is very blatantly casual bigotry towards men and towards white men in particular in Hollywood. There's no question about it. Now, the counter argument would be, oh, look at all the successful white men in Hollywood. True, but a lot of those successful white men have no choice but to virtue signal. Because Hollywood, I would say actors in general, and I don't want to be a hypocrite here, and like I say, I don't want to make a very lengthy video. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm a big film fan, and I think even today, in this age of PC and all the rest of it, there's still a lot of decent films out there. I go to the cinema often. Actors are entertainers, so I'd be a hypocrite if I just outright attack them and say they're this, that, and the other. I know acting's a difficult job. They're under a lot of pressure. It is they're under a lot of public scrutiny. I wouldn't say it's an easy job. I don't think it is, but I also think there's a lot of actors and actresses who are deluded by their own sense of self-importance. I think in the democracy they have a right to their opinions. But what bugs me is when they think that their words are more important than everyone else's, and they get to the point of preaching. Brie Larson's only the latest example of this. Um, it's one thing getting involved in campaigns and so on. It's their democratic right to do that. But I think, and frankly, this one reason why Trump won in 2016, it's not irrelevant. Hollywood is overwhelmingly pro-democrat, and it's associated with elitism, rightly or wrongly. That's what it's associated with. People see these multi-millionaire A-list Hollywood actors pontificating, and they don't like it. I'd say there's only a small number of actors and actresses in Hollywood who veer to the right. It's almost blasphemy in Hollywood, you know. And I'm not a right winger, but I can see that very obvious. Um, and it's associated with elitism. Now, to be clear here, I'm not saying I disagree with everything that actors campaign on and say, not for a second. There's many areas I would agree with them on, but not on double standards and not on casual bigotry that they seem to think is okay because it's directed at the supposed holders of power, white men. I mean, that's obvious these days, and that is what is. I mean, white men are the only demographic, really. Well, I suppose you could say white people, but particularly white men, where it's basically okay to be bigoted. They're the only group of people whom it seems to be okay to be bigoted towards, and there are zero repercussions. I mean, Brie Larson may as well have said, "Oh, white men are all pigs," and that's what's happening these days, and I think it's very sad and very frustrating because any other form of bigotry, whether it be sexism, whether it be homophobia, whether it be anti-black, anti-Asian, anti-Hispanic racism, is challenged, but anti-male sexism and anti-white racism is a-okay. And to be quite honest about it, it pisses me off. I can't boycott Hollywood. I've heard people talking about that, like, oh, I refuse to watch films because I'm obviously not going to do that. I'm too much of a film fan. I'm going to continue, watching films but the arrogance of Hollywood actors is so profound. And Brie Larson's by no means the only example. She's only the latest. So what I would conclude, she's got a right to her opinion, but if she's seriously saying that the way to get more diversity is just by refusing to do interviews with all white men, she's delusional. I mean, that's insulting white male reporters who might well be left wing. They might well agree with a lot of her views, but she's just lumping them all in one group. It's pure bigotry. And I don't think she should get away with it. I think she should be challenged on that bigotry. I'm not taking an issue with her calling for more diversity. That's a different thing. I'm taking issue with her thinking that that sort of casual bigotry is okay. And unfortunately, she does get away with it because of the double standards I mentioned. Pisses me off. And the only way to challenge it is by individuals like myself making videos like this. And I'm anonymous. I'm just a Joe Average. She's a Hollywood actress. So who do you think has the power? And I'm not whinging. I'm not bitter, but people people need to see what's going on here.